called for the fire department to help me search the two backyards, and the grandfather was just a little unattended. And finally, we were looking at like a 2-year-old, wasn't it? Yeah. And I did. I lost my temper with him, and that kind of brought him out of his intoxication stupor long enough to suggest that he doesn't honestly know if he was babysitting. Because he called up saying he woke up and the kid's gone. So 2 years old, door unlocked, it's dark out. I think the weather wasn't ideal if I remember right. It was a little on the cool side. Yeah, so it's like you can't really spend a whole lot of time. You know, you gotta get people, because it's gonna take these guys a few minutes to get there and get organized to do backyards in the dark. You know, every shadow something behind you, especially if you're 2 years old. You know, kid curl. I mean, so finally, Grandpa wavered when I kind of got on it and said something to give me some hint of something. And we made a couple phone calls, and somebody had him the whole weekend. He never did that. He basically was dreaming that it was babysitting. I got full fire department down there. And
Well, jeez.
how many times, you know?
So that wasn't really.
Jeffrey, what's up?
No,
I was more panicked than
That
anything.
wasn't really anybody.
You're working again?
so where's the trailer trailer?
Rail back.
Yeah,
we hit it out there.
Yeah,
We hit it out there to try to keep the traction kind of like miles to a light, you know?
I'll stop
So
down
we hit it out back. So anyway,
You heard from Robin?
I saw him on Main Street when I was on my way here an hour ago because I waved to him. He waved to me. He was right here.
Do we have his number? Somebody give him a shout, maybe he may have forgotten. He did it once.
He did. I was on vacation
I
too,
think
so I remember.
US.
Nick probably knows him, right?
Yeah, Nick said he's a good kid, he has no problem. He's in several places.
Voicemail, huh?
He noticed for it.
Okay.
That's bad, I've seen it.
All right, it being now about a minute after the hour, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would everybody stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Trustee Rittenhouse is excused this evening for a family event, and guess we'll have to wait. Hopefully Robin's on his way. Okay, first thing up is a public hearing for the purpose of receiving input regarding the new water and sewer laws. Let me go ahead and read the public notice for that. Village of Dansville Board of Trustees will hold a public hearing at 7 p.m. on February 20th, 2018 in the town of North Dansville Town Hall for the purpose of receiving public comments on the proposed modifications to the water and sewer law, local laws. Copies of the proposed changes are available in the village clerk's office. Comments may also be forwarded by the U.S. Postal Service or by hand delivered to the village clerk to be received not later than 5 p.m. on February 20th. This was dated when? It says 2/15/2018.
Thursday.
Okay. Okay. Does anybody have any comments?
Is there a copy to be able to grab from
Got the original ones right here. If anybody wants one, they're rather, especially the sewer bill is rather, or sewer law is rather voluminous. Needs a lot of paper. Hate to.
You could have answered that. Ask that question.
That's probably a couple of trees right there.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants a copy, they can make a personal request, and we'll be happy to give it to them. See, all the board members had a chance to look at those. I will hold open the public hearing and at least through to the DPW portion, if not the end of the meeting, and if anybody has any comments, they can bring them up, or questions. Moving right along to the minutes, we have the department head meeting minutes for January 10th, and the regular meeting minutes for January 16th. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion from trustee Zay. How about a second?
I'll second it.
Second from trustee Nagel. Any discussion, corrections, additions, deletions, whatever? Okay, not hearing any. All in favor, say aye.
All right.
Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are accepted. Privileges of the floor, I don't have any, but since Mr. Lorman is here, and he is on the docket for to talk about his, well, he isn't on the docket, but the issue of the request for the downtown winter display is on. Kurt, would you like to update? I think I sent everybody a copy, but I don't know how many got a copy of his letter today. Okay, you just want to give a brief overall what you sent me? And
Yeah, basically what I sent you today, basically is a rough outline of what I've proposed for the village
portion of it.
portion of it, I guess you'd
Yeah.
say, yeah. It's a minimum requirement that I'm asking for $1,800 in the village. I don't think that's too awfully bad. Probably almost pay that to the village guys to do that, wrapping all those poles, it's a lot of work, but, as it stands, I haven't heard anything from the state highway on yay or nay, but I haven't really heard anything, so I think, the mayor and, Scott, terrible, those names today. I'm gonna look into it just to make sure. I don't think there's gonna
I'm
be any
just nervous you got everybody here, and you're surrounded by eyeballs.
Yeah, that's it. So, if anyone has any questions pertaining to it, as it stands, what that money will go for is each controller on the light poles and 32 feet of color changing LED lights that are much higher quality than what you've already got on there. To do all 42 poles up and down Main Street, it's about a grand total of $3,800. Being that other people are going to, benefit from it, I've kind of spread the burden out a little bit with the Dansville Chamber of Commerce and a few other organizations. With a combined effort, I think, it won't be such a burden. So here's the first one. I'm coming here first, and then I'm going to go to the town, and then Chamber of Commerce, the same spiel. It's all pretty much basically the same price for everyone, but that should get us started. I'm not going to ask for anything more. I'm sure that plenty more donations are coming in. I actually have been taking donations already. Without even asking, people are just handing checks over to me, so they must be pretty excited. But we are well on our way to a good plan anyways. Does anyone have any questions?
Scott, did you have a chance to talk with the DOT at all?
I tried to contact them, nothing back.
Okay, I will go ahead, and I don't think it's going to be an issue, simply because they're not really flashing lights, and that's, and the only ones that would involve would be our pole lights, because everything else is on private property. I will write a letter to DOT myself, see if I can't get some action from them. They've always been pretty responsive. Well, I wouldn't say real responsive, but they've been responsive to most things I put in. It takes them a couple months, but
Yeah, like I said,
eventually you get something back.
they're hearing a message from a guy saying something about Christmas lights in February, and they're like, yeah, all right. So I guess I don't blame them. But for me to try and build all this stuff, I'm going to need every minute. It's definitely a lot of work. We're talking probably about 50 or 60,000 lights. So it's, if you go and just buy them off the store floor, yeah, you're going to pay $260 a pole. But if I can build them all, I can save a lot of money. But It just, I gotta have the money beforehand, not in October.
How soon you gonna need it?
I'd like to try and get started here in late spring, like probably April or May.
Okay.
I mean, I understand you guys are gonna have to vote on it or discuss it. If you can give more than $1,800, that'd be great, but a minimum of 18 is what I really need to have.
Well, I'd want the full board's participation in this one, I think.
Sure.
Since
Yeah.
Robin and trustee Humphrey and trustee Rittenhouse aren't here this evening. I don't think there's an issue because they seem to be pretty enthusiastic about it the last time.
Yeah,
But I'd like to have it, if possible, a unanimous decision.
sure. Yeah, you have my email, and
Yes.
I'll be in touch, I'm sure, so. I did get as an update, I did get some controllers that I personally bought just so I can set them up, and I set them up here about a half hour ago, and they reach all the way down both sides of the street, so
Good.
plan is working. There was something else I was gonna ask. And I can't think of it now, but I'll send it in an email if it
Okay.
comes to me. So, anyone else have any other questions? As I stated before, I'm building a separate whole area for these lights. I'll keep the lights in my possession. I mean, that's gonna be part of it, is each year I'll put them up, because it's quite complicated. Not the average person's gonna be able to, figure out the data string that connects all these together. So if I leave them downstairs in the cellar, they're gonna get lost and broken, or,
Put them down in the
yeah. it's-
DPW garage, gonna be almost as bad, if not worse.
I will be responsible.
Just too much movement going through
Yeah.
there.
So, if I need to put that in writing, I will do so, but, basically, I would be responsible for the lights and, the upkeep and maintenance. If something breaks, it's not an added expense, it's just, I'll fix it. So,
Anybody have any questions of Kurt?
beautiful. I'm sure there'll be questions later on, but I got some cards I'll pass out later on.
Okay, thank you. All right, just as a reminder to everybody here under Mayor's comments, correspondence, next Tuesday is our special meeting, 4:15, to go over the Cold War Veterans Tax Exemption. We'll have a public hearing at that point in time and then vote on it right afterwards. And I'll make it all above board. Not that it wasn't going to be above board, but we didn't have the public hearing beforehand, so we'll take care of it this time. Did everybody get a chance, I'm guessing probably not, to see the initiatives I sent out yesterday?
No.
Okay. Well, let me go over those real quickly. Last week, you'll recall, I said there were a number of items that wanted the board's thumbs up on, so I'd go ahead with. And I'll give you the latest update. I did reach out to most of them anyway. There's a healthcare insurance consortium. I did reach out to Ian Coyle County on that. Told him what I had learned in Albany, and he had mentioned that back in 2008, I believe it was, the county had looked into a program of self-insuring. But things weren't going the way they would want them to have gone, so they didn't pursue it. I said I would contact what do you call this? Be the Department of State, I believe. Actually, it's the Division of Finance Services. They've got a group in there that handles health insurance, and I haven't heard back from them yet. As for the streetlight bulb switch going through all LEDs, there's I did reach out to I forgot who it was. I don't know if it was NYSERDA. Anyway, they referred back to the Genesee Finger Lakes Council on that, and it would be the Regional Planning Council, and they redirected it to a, what's his name here? Matt Holliday is his name, and he and I are going to meet next Wednesday, 10 a.m. So, interestingly enough, I heard that there has been activity in the county on these energy saving opportunities. basically done through NYSERDA, which I think the LED's part of it, but I think there's a bigger group, and I'm surprised we hadn't heard about it, except in Livingston County. Anyway, that's where that stands. Now for NIMAP, which is a NICOM and Association of Towns here in the state, got together with a company called Good Energy, and they putting together something like NYMER. But they'll go out and try to get the best rates for municipalities and for private, for residential customers as well. There is no contract with it, so anybody gets in, doesn't like it, they can quit right away. That I'm still working on. In fact, I'm supposed to meet probably in the next 2-3 weeks with Mr. Carey from Good Energy. So I'll give you some more information when that comes up. And as I mentioned, I think last week on the walking tour committee, the committee has gotten started on the app itself, building that up. And I've reached out to 3 different companies that are app builders. Basically, they take what we want and they put it into the app program itself. And right now, we're leaning towards OnCell, which is out of Rochester. I think they do the museum up there, the art gallery. I also reached out to Tourmates out of Toronto. The prices are comparable. I just got to make sure I'm comparing apples with apples and not apples and oranges. So I'll get back on that. So far, most of the couple people gotten back to me from the committee prefer we go with an American firm. A third firm I reached out to is out of Ithaca, and they've never gotten back to me. So I'll get some more information on that. Does anybody have any questions about the tour itself and why we're setting it up? For the people here in the audience may be interested. A number of years ago, a group in Dansville got together, a private entity, I guess, or sort of a committee, and they got all of the downtown, or most of it anyway, designated as a historic district. It's on the National Register and all of that good stuff. But after they got that registration or that certification, nothing else has ever been done. If you've learned that Dansville has a district, and there's nothing to tell you that there is a historical district here, there is nothing to tell you what's historic about it. There are no signs, nada. Probably a lot of the building owners don't even know it. So the idea behind this is to promote that with historic signs, signs that would lead people into the community from the expressway particularly, get them into the community and downtown and take a look at some of the buildings. And then when I say the downtown historic district, it also is a little bit off the main street itself. It includes like the Red Cross building. It includes the new brewery that's being built, the old depot. A number of other, the post office is one, Star Theater. And, the little, it'll be basically a self-guided tour. Gets people in. Once they're here, then they might start using downtown facilities. Most certainly the restaurants or the coffee houses or whichever. I've got to contact the DOT, see if we can't get one of those at the exits, what they call the attractions board. You got the ones for hotels and restaurants and all that other stuff. If we can get one for attractions, and they don't have to be anything major, because I've seen them in other towns that had no idea what they were talking about, that they had stuff up there. We've got Stony Brook State Park, got the historic district, you've got the Red Cross House itself, which has already got markers in those historical signs. One's on Pine Street, another one's over here at the corner of Ocean and Main, leading you over to the Red Cross House itself. So that's our idea, and then once you get them off the expressway, then get some signs that lead them up into downtown. They come here, we would have the starting point probably here at the town hall. There's plenty of parking. Then they can turn on their mobile device, whether it's a tablet or a smartphone. They can bring up the app and then they can give themselves a self-guided tour around the village. And again, it's not just a historical thing, it's actually to promote downtown and then, you know, the economy in that area. So we'll see how that works. It'll probably take a little bit longer here for us to get set before I ask for some moolah. But we're looking at less than $3,000 for it. We spent a lot more than that on the website, which I might add does have the emergency alert on there today. So, plus we got the, where did the alerts come from? Was that from the sheriff's department? Okay. I saw that and I went down to see the clerk, and then she didn't know much more about it than I did at the time. I came up here and put it on our website. Nice bold red across the top. So. Plus it's on, I know it's on WHAM.
Yeah, I was able to see it at one point.
You know.
At that point,
So it's all around. Okay, that's all I have on that particular item. And now move along to committee reports, liaison officers, village clerk, legislative. Anything new on the action list?
No updates for that.
Okay. And codification, we must be about done with that, right? Because next week is when it's due, next Friday.
Yep, we're still on track, but since the last meeting, we added just a couple of things. I had reached out to Louise Wadsworth to get a downtown revitalization district map, which we had an old one in our code. So we wanted to include something that you could read a little bit easier. She directed me to a website I could get it from.
Okay.
And then she asked if we could make sure that our codes match the downtown design guidelines, and if they do not match, to adopt them. So I haven't looked into that yet, but I'm going to look into that. And then I know there was something else that Charlie was working on too, but we are on track.
yeah, I mentioned to you there last week about the sidewalk.
Yeah, I saw that in there.
We put that together. Food for thought.
I don't think anything's going to happen with that before we send the stuff out to general code.
It was a section in there, so we addressed it. You know, so hopefully it helps out. And if it flies, it flies. Or some variation thereof. The significant efforts there. Seems like there was a couple other odds and ends. I mean, it's been no small feat. And if it wasn't for regular work getting in the way, we've been done with it. But
Yeah.
we all have full-time jobs already, and this is extra, so
Darn routine.
yeah, you know, if it wasn't for regular work getting in the way, we'd get that and a whole lot of other things done. But so, I don't know, probably. You're more optimistic than I am. I say 2 more days at some point. I say you're more optimistic than I am, but maybe we'll crush out.
And it depends on the day, because, you know,
Monday's a shot.
we had a time slot the other day where we were gonna work on it, but then it turned out I was the only one in the office for a significant period of time, so we scratched that day. You know, so it was like a good attempt, but we are still on track. You know,
Yeah, we're still on track. We'll get it done.
Yeah, yeah, no matter what, we'll get it in.
Okay. I'll take a look at that sidewalk. Is it much different than the old one? Is there something there that the board really needs to see before we initially adopt it?
I would look at
Yeah.
it on
I see it's on the,
did you have a chance to put it on?
yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was on there. I thought I saw the sidewalk law. Was that the new one that we were looking at?
Oh, that's the.
I didn't look at it, that's why I was asking.
Right, that's the new one that we were looking at before
Okay.
the other day, you know,
Okay.
so yes, yeah, it's on the share folder, but it's the old,
Oh, so we
Okay, so we'll need to see the new one anyway.
right?
Yeah.
I like
We're
that.
trying to crush everybody's thoughts together.
Mm-hmm.
So, along with there were parts in the old law from 1939 that were valuable.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Perkinsville Wells assessment. This is something we've been talking about for some time, haven't done anything, and Megan went ahead and took the initiative on that to talk with the town of Wayland assessor, who was probably equally shocked about how much we're paying for those wells as we are. And she couldn't understand why. Again, I think it goes back to the mid-'90s when they were having the so-called water wars, and it was sort of a thing to get back at. on that. I could be wrong, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody, but, you know, there were some heated times back then, so that could have something to do with it, but we'll be getting together with the town assessor up there at some point and see if we can't iron this out. She was talking with somebody else, right? Somebody she goes to.
Yep, she has
Consultant.
a consultant that will
Mhm.
help her, and we will know what our assessment's gonna be the first week in May. And then, once we review that, even if they lower it, we can still choose to go through the grievance process. You know, so we can evaluate at that time what we wanna do. And that's usually like the third or fourth Tuesday
Yeah.
or Thursday or something in May.
I think the biggest argument, it sits in the middle of a swamp. It's 2 well houses and that's it. And it's assessed at, what was it, 90-some thousand?
Almost $1 million.
Yeah.
And it's less
900.
than 5 acres. It's
Yeah.
between 4 and 5 acres.
In swampland, which I know the DEC would never let them fill in. Too many acres of that up there. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, but that gives you an idea where we're at this point in time. And the last item I have on here is a special tax auction is going to be held in next month. And the property we're concerned about right now is the press property over here at by Pioneer Park. That was what I was going to talk to you about today, now that you remember. What's that zoned as?
LR2, low density residential 2, which means it can only be single family or duplex houses.
Okay, that's what I thought. The county has it as commercial.
I have been fighting them about that since they tore the building down.
Yeah.
And nowhere, at any time have we ever had it commercial. It was a commercial business
Yeah.
prior to our zoning laws, but when our zoning laws came in, our zoning said, yes, this is a commercial business right now, but we're zoning it LR2 so that if that commercial business ever goes away,
Which it has.
it can only ever be single family or duplex housing. It can't even be townhouses.
Okay.
And yeah, that since we tore that building down 3-4 years ago.
Need to make sure that gets noted that
We've
way.
been
Yeah, I'll
trying to
let
get that straight.
the county know about it.
Mistakes later on.
Because the last thing you need is somebody buying that and then finding out they
Thinking
can't
that
do
they're
anything
going
with it, and then
to
we're
build a
right back where we
business.
started from.
Or
Exactly.
somebody put a business in there because it is
Mhm.
commercial.
Well, they'll buy it because they think they can build another dollar store,
Yeah.
and they can't.
It's assessed for $65,500. It's 3.06 acres approximately. And it does say your commercial vacant land. And so my concern was what it actually is. If it's LR2, you said?
LR2, yes,
Um,
low-density residential.
Then I don't think we have to really get too involved in it. We just gotta make sure the county understands it before they try to sell somebody a lead weight.
I had a call from Tom Wamp last week.
Yeah,
He
that's
left
where
a
I got
message
this
to
from.
call. I called him back and we've been playing phone tag.
Yeah.
We've missed 3 times. That might
That's,
have been what
that's
it was.
probably what he was talking about. He said he's been trying to get a hold of me.
Because he likes to talk to me for
It's Friday.
the auctions.
Friday he came by here.
Because I left him messages on Thursday.
Okay. Anything else from, on the legislative side? I get my tongue twisted tonight. Okay, public safety, trustee Nagel.
Carry on.
Report is it you guys got last week. I'm sorry, my son was home with the flu last
Yep.
week, so I wasn't here. I heard the only issue was in regards to a fence on Clay Street, which I have already moved forward on trying to rectify that situation and have spoken to Pete about it and given him a copy of letters that were sent out in regards to it. So if there's any other issues, just let me know and I'll jump on them tomorrow, but I didn't have anything else new.
45 Washington Street, Kenny turned that paperwork over to me, so I've got the court paperwork all typed up, took it all, printed out, just a matter of having 5 minutes to locate the guy and hand it to him.
What was that for, chief? What was that
Siding.
technically?
Siding.
Oh.
He's had nothing but empty plywood for a year, so I cited him twice for empty plywood. He put up Tyvek and sent me
Okay.
sent me bills saying, here, I bought the siding. Well, he bought it apparently, but never put it up, so.
That was which street? That's over here?
Ocean Street.
One over there by Red's place?
Yes.
Okay.
And also, it's been about a week, I think this Saturday makes 2 weeks. This coming Saturday makes 2 weeks. So a week and a half ago, myself, third-party electrical inspector, and the Ag and Markets, which is apparently Livingston County Health Department doesn't cover the brewery, Ag and Markets does. So all three of us said, go ahead, start brewing, and so a week and a half ago they started brewing. They said it takes something like 21 days before they have a product, so they've started brewing.
Depends on what they're brewing.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, so,
Pardon me?
but
They have an opening day set up?
they have not told me. They said that they couldn't have an opening until they had a product, and it takes a minimum of 21 days to get a product, so,
A lot of people are asking.
Officially, the grand opening is gonna be for Dogwood Day,
yeah,
or Dogwood Week.
yeah, but it'll.
But
be
I understand they're gonna have a
before-
soft opening before then.
Yeah,
I just, I wouldn't hang your hat on that. We've had a lot of false dates before when they projected things were gonna happen and never did. I think they realized it wasn't as simple as they thought it was gonna be.
Dogwood is definitely gonna happen.
It should.
That's basically the only new business we got going on right now, right?
Yeah.
Well, not really.
I mean, we
There's
have.
a
we
dog
have-
business probably coming along.
Yeah, we have little businesses. If you're talking a big new thing,
Well,
that's the
anything,
only
eh?
big new thing. We have, a dog training facility in the variance process with the zoning board of appeals to go on to Main Street. There's the new recycling center down on Ocean
Yep.
Street. And Krog Corporation said that by the end of the month, I will have plans to issue a building permit for 45 Maple Street.
Sure.
So, if you're talking whole new big something, no, but lots of little stuff.
Anybody want to come in?
I'm trying.
Just as a heads up, maybe you heard about over the weekend, that Tops is probably gonna be filing for bankruptcy. That doesn't mean they're closing, it just means they're gonna get protection from their creditors, in the short term anyway. And how that'll impact the local store will probably depend on how well they're doing down here. So, I haven't heard anything official from anyone, that was just what I heard on the news.
They still,
And talking to one of the employees, was in a management position.
Are they still affiliated with the plaza across the road?
No.
No, they're separate
I
organizations.
didn't know whether the people still own the property or not.
And Tops doesn't even own the property they're currently in.
Oh, no?
No.
It's not even Tops Plaza, it's Franklin Street
It's
Plaza.
Franklin Street Plaza.
And the other one's
Tops
Village Plaza.
is
But everybody
just-
locally has always called them Tops Plaza.
Yeah.
Before it was Ames.
And that was Ames,
Down
yeah.
there was Ames Plaza.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Okay.
So, do you guys have anything else for me, or? Okay. Well, just email me or call if you have anything, and I'm continuing on as usual.
Next one.
Go to the fire department.
Nothing's changed since the last meeting. I can read the report again.
Got your truck.
Well, we don't have it yet. but
It's on
we're
its
looking
way.
forward to that, yep.
Yep. It's in the process.
Greg's been in touch with the gentleman out there, and we're hopefully to have a meeting with the committee to go over some things.
Mhm.
This week I'll be putting in, hopefully, I didn't wait for the fire prevention grant, see what I mentioned last week. So, but nothing else has changed, we're still responding and.
I take it the communication hasn't gotten any better.
No,
No.
I was gonna ask you, how was it today doing research? Going into the buildings and stuff?
Well, they don't have any.
Actually, I think
I know that.
probably 90% of communication is all done by cell phone, I think. And I don't know if that was really, we'd have probably recognized difficulties if we tried radios, because you got to flip, people who didn't think to flip their radios to a different channel when they in the village would have been like, damn thing doesn't work. Well, we didn't really run into that because we use cell phones pretty much I think almost all the time with cell phones. I don't remember anybody using the radio. So we didn't really suffer any difficulties today.
So nothing's changed with us until they get the tower built. I think they're moving along now,
Yeah.
working up the other tracks.
I did hear tonight on the news that there's an issue with 911 monies, the enhanced 911, that the state wasn't working it out. Have you heard anything on that?
Haven't heard anything about it?
There's been an ongoing criticism of the state that a significant share of the 911 monies that are collected never find their way back to the localities.
And I guess that's what it was.
And that's probably been a conversation for 20 years that I know of. So then I wouldn't think there's anything new about it. I would just, maybe
Someone must be tweaking it a little bit.
Yeah, there must be some conversation maybe happening in Albany, and they feel that now's the time to try to bring it to a
Well,
forefront.
the budget's up. Here's just a few more months. They're going through the budget process.
And I've heard the conversations, and it does sound as though that money was, in theory, to go to the local dispatch centers, and it's been shanghaied to other directions.
I don't have anything else, unless you guys got any questions.
Nobody got anything there? Nobody from the ambulances here. Nobody will carry on?
At the chief?
That's the chief.
No, everything's the same as last week. Mental health issues continue to be persistent last year as well, but it seems like this new year, it does feel like there's an uptick. As recently as last night, took a drive to Warsaw, so we have resources in town, and folks are availing themselves of the resources, and the resources that people are seeking help are offering people solutions, and when you have people seeking help and you have solutions available, the police department has to be, as well as the ambulance, has to be part of that fix. So there are requests for services that the ambulance and the police provide, sometimes together. Officer Burley rode on the ambulance last week to Warsaw. So that's probably going to be more the norm than not. Other than that, 11 a.m. tomorrow, for whoever's got free time, 11 a.m. the Lexipol man will be here tomorrow in the library at 11 a.m. to give his demonstration.
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
What's that for?
That's the organization that will,
Policy procedures.
Oh, basically, they're an outfit that several departments in the area picked up on to stay on top of that. SUNY Alfred was one of the first in the state, I think, and now all the SUNY campuses are jumping on. Batavia, Jamestown, Greece, Attica, Arcade, Perry, have all jumped on.
What time did you say?
11 a.m.
11 a.m.
So it should only take about an hour.
Okay.
At the library.
Library.
Yep. Try to make it.
Other than that, things are doing good. The guys are doing great. They've got a lot of things in the works, which obviously, the more criminal stuff you have, it takes away from your opportunities on traffic. But it is what it is. There's no way to do both all the time.
How many of them are tied up today with this?
Well, sadly today, the only two officers that were available today for just even to cover the shifts was Brian Chapman and Catherine Mucha. So they were splitting the day 6 to 6, 6 to 6. And everybody else had other activities they're out of town on. So these weird things would happen. They happened on the day when there's only 3 of us available instead of 7. But we had, I don't know, counted everybody else, must have been 20 people, right? I know I was standing parked lot once with 14, so.
So you have pretty good representation from the
Yeah,
state,
everybody helped out.
state police.
You know,
Yeah.
State Police, Sheriff's Department, everybody helped out and offered the things that they had available, and I get to pick yes that, and not that yet, and yes this please, and so everybody drops on us.
Who runs the sheriff's command center out there? You got a particular individuals in charge? Is that you?
Depends what we're doing with it.
Mhm.
If it's a big ongoing thing, we'll put a dispatcher in there to basically run a different radio channel and yeah.
It worked out well today. It was
Good.
you know, it turned out to be a good thing to have down there because it gave us an opportunity to segregate ourselves and brainstorm and.
Where do you hold,
Take some
where do you have the command center?
We parked it out back.
Out back.
Tried to have it a little bit concealed so that it
Yeah.
doesn't attract too much attention, because that can sometimes be more difficult than what you're trying to work
It
on.
came out of the back of the building, and that truck out there was blocking my view, and I didn't notice it. I see all these state trooper vehicles out there. What the heck? Yeah, they were here for the search, but I haven't seen anybody in the building. Police department itself is sort of dark in there. I said, they all in the auditorium. I came by the office. You weren't there. It was Karen and Jess, and I asked them, I said, where are all the state troopers at? I figure what's going on. Oh, there's a command center out there. Oh, sure enough. If I'd gone away to my truck, I would have seen it. But, yeah. Okay.
I think that's all I have. And, we don't
That's
have
it
anything
for-
from the justice or anything, so,
Well, I think they're running along like they always do.
fine.
I just want to back up one thing on the,
Looking for more tickets.
always more. On the comments from the mayor, I did sit down today with Joe Arrigo, Assemblyman Arrigo. He was here, came by. As some of you know, I was up in Albany last week for a conference, and I was supposed to meet with him on Tuesday morning, and him and Senator Young. And you don't want to be in Albany when the legislature or anything else is going on, because you can't find a place to park. Traffic is horrible, and plus they got a zillion one-way streets up there. By the time, it probably took me an hour before I found a place to park when I got out, and I stuck my credit card into the parking meter. It said invalid. So I did it on another credit card, invalid. Say 3 times when we're out here. So I stuck it in a 3rd time, another one, invalid. So I said, this is a sign. Get out of here.
Keep an eye on your credit card statements.
Well, I went up to a gas station and stuck it in there and it worked fine.
Keep an eye on your credit card statements.
So we'll see. Anyway, so he came here today instead. And we had a good conversation. Doesn't mean we'll get anything, but I did ask about CHIPS money and AIM money for the village. And he's got a meeting with the chairman of the department or the committee that handles that. So we may hear something. If we can come up with a list of projects, and I told him about the culvert there on Seward Street. He said he'd see what he could do for us. He's also with, what was I going to say? Forgot. I talked with Greg Holding today too, or Hotelling, I guess how he pronounces it. And yeah, he's going to look into the what more we can do as far as the grants go for the culverts. He's got, I think it's Emily working on that. She does the grant writing for him. So she was going to come up with a bunch of info, or he was going to try to get her to get some information for us, get back to us so we know what we have and what our timelines are and what we can get. And with that, I will throw it back to, this time, to Trustee Rittenhouse, who's not here. And that's Budget, Finance, and Audit. We have no budget modifications this month. Under special billings, we have none for either of them, because we're pretty much done with we are done with the wastewater treatment plant, other than, I guess, all the paperwork. And there's nothing on the housing rehab grant, because it's one's finishing up and the other one's just beginning. So we'll go to bills under general. We have paid checks 16723 through 16734 for $25,828.42. We audited checks in the amount of $86,910.73. Underwater, we paid checks 1388 through 1393 for a total of $14,262.59. And we audited checks in the amount of $30,004.54. Under sewer, we paid checks 1198 through 1202 for a total of $11,801.19. And we audited checks in the amount of $30,117.31. I'll entertain a motion to approve the bills for this month.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion from Trustee Zay and a second.
I'll second.
Second from Trustee Nagel. Discussion. Trustee Nagel.
Aye.
Trustee Zay.
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye as well. Bills are approved. Under band and bond payments, we have one Due on the March 23rd is the USDA Rural Development money for a water storage tank. It's $4,950, interest only. And then under MedX, we have Livingston County EMS for $2,250. We need to pay them. Patient reimbursement was $86.71. MedX itself, invoice 2018-1 was $2,184. The village's share in the end was $7,487.61, and the ambulance was $9,151.52. And that reflects a change now to our 55-45 split rather than 60-40. So the village is getting a little bit more with the intention that we'll get back to where we were. Okay, do I have a motion to make the bond payments and the MedX billing account payments?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion from trustee Nagel, a second.
One second.
A second from trustee Zay. Any discussion? Trustee Zay?
Aye.
Trustee Nagel?
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye. Motion carries. Anything else that we need to discuss under budget, finance, and audit? If not, we'll move right along to Public Works. And trustee Humphrey is not here, so I will take care of the water and the sewer. What you got, Scott?
Well, the property line adjustment, I talked to Judy today.
Mm-hmm.
He said it'd be a couple months. There's a couple of people that have to sign off that aren't in the area.
Okay.
So it'd be 2 months before.
He's all up, moving ahead with it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
So just to get the paperwork around, he said it'd probably be May, June by the time they get everything set, get it to the poll road. So, yeah, it's moving forward.
Okay.
Water and sewer, there's really not much on the sewer side. The water, we did get the fluoride all up and running, and that's approved by the county, so hopefully some of that money will roll back in for that grant.
Mm-hmm.
So that's up and running.
Good.
Right now, everything's good in water and sewer as far as leaks or anything else.
No surprises, huh?
Yeah. Warm weather and cold, who knows?
Yeah, up through the middle of next week, it should stay warm.
Let's hope so.
See, I've got some buds on my cherry tree that are coming out now. It's a little scary.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day.
Yeah. This weather isn't going to help.
Go back to, I don't even know if this is the right place to ask this question, but what is the situation with the sewer plant? I mean, as far as financially, take, what we owe and what's going on with that?
Well, we're already paying the bills.
Okay.
It's pretty well settled out at, what was it, 300, no,
385.
385, roughly 385,000 a year we're paying.
Okay.
No interest, so it's just a flat out sum.
Okay.
That's well below what we were looking
What
at.
is the, I don't know if this is the right time to bring this up, but what's the balance on that? $385,000 a year we're paying, right?
Mm-hmm.
We pay that one time every year?
Yep. And that's for, what, 35 years, Scott? 32 years, as I recall?
30.
It's not an even 30.
No. I'm not sure exactly where we are now, because we paid,
Right, I think the total was 35 years and we have
Maybe
6 or
32,
7 down since we've been actually making
Payments,
payments.
yeah.
Because we were making payments as we were requesting the funds.
Mm.
How long have you been making payments for?
Well, see, we
You
started
wanna say
back
6 or
in,
7 years?
yeah, it's
We
been a
could
while.
gather that.
Well, I wouldn't say 7 years.
Now.
Just,
Probably
I'm
around
new
12.
in here, I just,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
trying to get myself up to speed on this stuff, you know.
see, it was messed up at first. We had a problem with our bands and a lot of that stuff. We took out short-term borrowing to clean up some of the financial problems that we had at the time.
Yeah.
And now we're into the actual full-blown payment on just the water, wastewater treatment plant itself.
So that payment would be the same every year then?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I would give or take
and
a few
it's the
cents.
same, it's the same every
Yeah,
year.
I mean, you give or take a few cents,
Yeah.
maybe. That would be it.
375,000.
Well below what was projected, even after we got the costs down and everything. Some other things occurred that knocked it down even further, so we came in well under our goals. So we're in pretty good shape. And that was get pretty much the whole plant that we had was originally proposed. Now, a few things were left out, but everything that was important still there.
It was 1.1 million when we started.
Okay,
Payback.
all right.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think, there's no think, I mean, what do we pay for maintenance every year, including and
And, you know, if you're throwing in everything, that's our
Including-
operational budget, including the cost of the labor and that is a little over $1 million. It's what, isn't that one 1.5, something like that?
for operational costs?
Yeah.
Yeah, per year.
Well, that's the whole.
Yeah, that's everything under the sewer. So that could include your streets and everything as well, but, yeah.
We can sit down and go over that sometime.
Yeah, well, people ask questions. I get ready.
Any other questions on that? For water and sewer? Okay, we'll go to streets. Trustee Zay. Look at Scott.
We're on a roll, Scott.
Not a lot of potholes, that's about it right now. Potholes and working on equipment. Guys are trying to get some signs repaired, some stop signs, yield signs. Some boys are working on that. They've been doing a lot of odds and ends, cutting wood and taking advantage of this nice weather. Nothing exciting there.
Okay. Okay, how about Parks and Rec? Got anything going on there?
The only thing, we have that meeting for the field use, which is March 6th at
Six.
6:30 downstairs, so hopefully that,
Okay.
I'll bring up trustee or deputy mayor Rittenhouse's concerns with the adult league taking over the kids' league time. So I'll make sure we bring that up there.
And the only thing I got down next is for technology and GIS update. Do we know where they stand on that at this point? I haven't had a chance to call them and ask.
They're working on it. I think they probably got 75–80% of all the field work.
Yeah, I saw some bills in there this month.
Yeah,
What's it, last month? Got,
something here this month.
yeah. Just curious where we stand on it.
I haven't seen anything filed, I'll tell you that.
Well, that's what I'm interested in. Okay. Moving right along then to unfinished business. As we mentioned last week, we still have to vote on the easement right away for Matthews buses. Any question about that? Apparently they are going forward with their project, so I guess we need to make it all legal that they're crossing our land. Do I have a motion then to,
I'll make a motion.
have a motion from trustee Nagel then to approve the easement with Matthews buses. Do I have a second?
I was like, yeah.
Second from trustee Zay. Any discussion? I think we beat this one to death for
Yeah,
a long
we did.
time.
That was a spending bill there.
Okay, I'll go ahead and vote then. Trustee Zay,
Aye.
trustee Nagel,
Aye.
and the mayor's an aye. So we'll get that one out of the way. And next is, I don't, like I said, I'd rather wait for the whole board on this one here to make sure that we're all in concert on it. I don't see it as a big issue. We should be able to vote, I would hope, next month. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And the next one then is new business, or I should say, is there any unfinished business I haven't put down here on the agenda that we might want to cover? Not hearing anything, I will go ahead with new business. And that's a letter to, which was in the shared folder, to accept Karen Schlayer's retirement letter for 31st of March of this year. I'd like a motion then to accept her resignation, retirement with regrets,
So that actually-
and with our appreciation.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, we have a trustee, Zay makes the motion, a second from trustee Nagel.
Yeah,
Discussion? Trustee Nagel?
and you got the letter then.
Yeah. It's all official now. Trustee Nagel?
Aye.
Trustee Zay?
Aye.
And the mayor's an aye, so that's out of the way. And the next one is discuss and vote on a home application, that's the home grant application waiver of conflict of interest for Megan Aldrich. Did everybody get a chance to read Attorney Vogel's letter on this?
Yeah.
And trustee Rittenhouse had some questions, and Megan was able to get a letter from Toma That reinforces what John says. There's no guarantee she will get it, but it doesn't encumber the village with anything by approving it. She does not handle any of the funds. She does basically the stuff files through her office. I'm the one that signs the checks for that. So there's no money in her hands. And she does not get a priority. That's based on income, as I understand it, and need. So TOMA will be administering that, so we should be, so I don't see any problems there. Would someone like to make a motion then to approve a request for waiver in her particular case?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I have a motion from trustee Nagel to approve the waiver of the conflict of interest for Megan Aldrich. I have a second.
I'll second.
Second from trustee Zay. Discussion. Okay, trustee Zay.
Aye.
Trustee Nagel.
Aye.
And the mayor is an aye. Okay, and I believe we have an item for executive session. Shouldn't take very long at all. Just give you some updates on something. But action list summary. Do we have anything on the action list tonight that isn't already there?
I didn't write anything down.
I don't think we had
Unless you guys
anything.
have anything.
Okay, community comments. Okay, not hearing any.
Good to see you guys. Just figured we'd come down once in a while and give you some coverage.
Well, appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session. The time is, 7:55, more or less.
I'll make a motion to go into executive
I
session.
have a motion from trustee Zay to go into executive session, real short.
Well,
You have a second from trustee Nagel. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Motion's approved. I'm assuming nobody's saying no, because I'm the one that requested it, so. And they voted yes. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'll get you the times.
Chief will be in the hallway probably. He'll be in the hallway for the news feeds here.
I'll get you the times and who makes the motion to enter back into open session and adjourn.